Hey guys, so today I'm carrying out 3 scarification. Ooh, it's cold today. Ooh. Come on. Leaf it out, mate. Leaf it out. This has been my long-term friend. The old scarifying rake. Woo! Okie dokie, so scarification is the process of raking your lawn. Why would we rake a lawn? We rake it to remove the moss, the thatch, the spongy bouncy layer. Now, as you can imagine, you've got your grass, you've got the ground there. A layer of thatch builds up like a thatched roof on top of the house. As that builds up, it stops rain from getting down to where it needs to be, which is in the root zone. So we have to scarify, and it rakes the ground, so you want your blades to be scratching the surface of the soil. When you scratch, anything that's above will get gently teased out, and that is what we're trying to do. Alright, let's crack on. Good to go. Let's go a bit deeper. Ah! The first thing you've got to do is find the right height. You adjust the height of the scarifier higher or lower so that the blades are scratching the surface of the soil. Let's show you. As you can see here on the first pass, it was missing this bit, but it was scratching nicely there. Just scratching in, but not quite breaking through to soil. Although in that area it was. So we lowered the blade down with the height adjustment, and you can see we can now see soil. So I'm going to go up and down, I'm going to cross at 45-degree angle, scarify this lawn and get all the thatch out. Look! It's amazing, isn't it, how much actually comes out. That, and that sat on top of the ground, stopping everything from getting through. That is why your lawns go a bit blah in summer, blah in winter. They just don't look as good, do they? You've got to scarify regular to keep it nice. Very important. Right guys, so the question is, how much do you need to scarify? A lot of thatch and moss has come out of this, considerable amount which has come out. You can see just with one pass how much is coming out. This lawn definitely needed a good old scarification. But where do we stop? Where do we stop? And that is the question. So if you are going to be doing any particular seeding, then you can go heavy with your scarifying, and that will thin out some of the grass that's there, and you'll end up with more soil than grass, which is fine if you're doing a seeding. Of course, if you can avoid it, the better. If you are only scarifying just to keep the thatch down, then you want to be going carefully and teasing thatch out. Just look how much. Look at it, look at it, look at it, look at all that. Wow. Wow, look at it. All that thatch there. Ridiculous. Isn't it ridiculous? That's just absolutely crazy. That lawn looks okay. And now we've done this. But it is going to be better for it in the end. And that's what really matters. And that's what really matters. So now we've double scarified it. In places it does look rough, but that was nearly all moss in that corner. That'll need a bit of seed on. The rest of it will come back absolutely fine. I'm really happy. There's just a few areas where there's a bit more moss, so we'll go over once more in those areas, or I'll just use a little hand rake. But in general, most of it is absolutely fine and will come back perfectly. This is a fairly aggressive scarify. It needed it because there was a lot of thatch, as you can see. Look at that. You might be horrified, but I promise you 6 to 8 weeks this will all be back and thriving. So literally all I'm going to do, I've got a dwarf ryegrass which I use on my own lawn. And just a little bit shaking over the area. You don't need loads because each one of these is an individual plant, but you do need even coverage. Next thing, you can use topsoil or multi-purpose compost. Today we have got a top dressing from a company called Field Compost, and this is their field number 4, and it's absolutely beautiful. It is really soft and crumbly, and just literally rub between your hands over the surface. You just want a thin covering. So what I'm doing is I'm covering the seeds because we don't want the birds getting in and having a bit of a feast, and then just firm it in. That is it. So all you need to do is just keep that damp for the next 2 to 4 weeks. Once it starts to come through, you can then reduce your watering to maybe once a week. As long as we've got a dew in the morning, you don't need to water as much. But it's just to help it during the germination phase, and then you can ease back on the watering a bit. So I'm just going to continue, get these last few bits done, and we'll see you on the next one. Right then, property number 2, here we are. So this one is another scarify. This one is just a straightforward scarify, up and down, across if we need to. There's quite a bit of moss in. I'm going to show you. Let's have a look. But you can see we came here last week and we put a moss control on, and you can just see it's absolutely rampant with moss. There's no way I'm doing this again. No way. It's a problem with scarifying. You've got to go heavy. Sometimes you've got to go heavy, or just repeated, one after the other, until you've got it all out. If it takes you longer, it takes you longer, but got to be done. Right, that's 2 done. 2 done out of 3. It's 2:15. It's going to be 2:30 by the time I'm there and unloaded. We should be okay. We should get it done. I hope so. Right, so we've just been and had a look at this third garden. Doesn't really need aerating. We got the aerator, we brought it with us. As you can see, we've got the Klassen aerator there. I have actually got a new aerator coming in the next week or 2, so hopefully you'll be seeing some of that once we get round to a few more renovation jobs. So here we are. Doesn't actually look too bad, but this one does suffer a lot in the summer because it is literally pure sand underneath the lawn. I'll try and show you where we took a couple of samples. You can just see here part of the core there, and it's a light brown. Well, this is most of the core, but you can see there it's just sand. So when we get the heat, it tends to drain through, and that means the grass just struggles because it's never got a decent supply of water on a regular basis, and that's why it goes brown. So now we've just got to get a bit of seed in to those areas which require a little bit of seed. So once you've covered your seed, just walk over it just to firm it down a bit so the seed is touching soil. And then what you need to do, what I like to do, is just scatter a little bit of seed over the rest of the lawn. Doesn't have to be much, but it just helps to blend it in if your 2 types of grass, the existing grass and the new grass, are not exactly the same. Catch a load of this. He's there. He's on that fence post. He knows. So there's going to be a lot of grass in the middle uncovered, and he's going to be wanting that. But I'll just do what I can. So even though it's early in the year, it's worth just giving it a bit of a watering in. 1, to get it to touch the soil. 2, to try and stick it down so the birds don't get whiff of it. And it's going to need to be kept damp for a few weeks anyway, any seed. So it doesn't need much at this time of the year. But if you've got some heat and temperatures sort of over 7, 8, 9, 10, then you'll need to be watering once or twice a day. If you get more towards late spring, then you need to water in 2 or 3 times a day for a few weeks. It doesn't need much, just needs enough just to get it going. So I'll crack on with this. Thank you for watching. If you like it, click the subscribe button. And I'll do more things like this. Much appreciated. Don't forget to smash the like button.